Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Thomas. I am the Executive Director of Voices for Awareness and Facing Fentanyl. And this is my partner.
Hi, I'm Michael Fiore. I'm Director of Outreach for Voices for Awareness and Facing Fentanyl, as well as CEO and founder of Inspire to Inspire.
For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, Lil homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through, shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf. I
was the founder. I created Conan Pocket in my mother's garage.
I had a lot of, lifting weights, and I was on swole. They start calling me Big Miz.
Original Stutter Box, Eastside 5, who's Pablo Bishop, Mid City Gangsta Bloods.
Kev Mac video, you know, this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul.
This is the beginning.
Okay, tell me what it is you guys do for a living. Give me a description of what you're doing.
Well, we bring awareness to the dangers of illicit fentanyl. In 2018, I lost my daughter Ashley to half of a counterfeit pill, deceptively made with fentanyl. It appeared to be a prescription pill. Ashley took a half and it killed her almost instantly. And since that time, it's been every priority to get this message out to other families to save them from the devastation and poisoning of fentanyl.
Do you have any idea what brought her to fentanyl? Was she using pills prior to that?
My daughter was an alcoholic and she had pancreatitis, and that caused a lot of pain sometimes. And it's not that Ashley hadn't used socially some type of drugs, but she didn't know what fentanyl was. We hadn't heard of it back then, and she had an outbreak of pancreatitis and needed a half of pain pill would be her normal dosage, right, that she would take. Pills made her stomach feel sick, and someone that she trusted and loved gave her one of these pills thinking it would help her, never knowing he was going to kill her with it. And she took it. She had no reason to think it was going to harm her.
What is the strength of those type of pills like? Is it a lot stronger than morphine?
Yes, 100 times more potent than morphine. These pills are deadly, and there's no safe dose, right? These are pills that are made out in some lab in a jungle or in an abandoned building. There's no safe dose to this, and just 2 milligrams of fentanyl can kill.
So one milligram, your sugar packets, your sweet and low packets, has enough fentanyl in it to kill 500 people at the lethal dose of 2 milligrams. So one of the many things we do across the nation is spread awareness and prevention. And one of the things I think is misleading societies, they're using the word overdose. The definition of overdose means the excessive use of drugs. It's not an excessive use of drugs, Ashley taking a half a pill. It's a poisoning. So we do need to start spreading the proper terminology for it, because a little bit of poison will kill you. Same thing as lace. They're saying fentanyl is laced with it. Unfortunately, the definition of lace means the minority of. It's no longer the minority of no more. It's fentanyl laced with whatever drug that you're picking up. You're being deceived. You're thinking you're picking up one thing and you're getting another. So therefore you are being poisoning. And the most we could do is spread awareness and prevention. So like, unfortunately, Andrea lost her daughter. I lost both my parents to AIDS, 2 grandmothers to alcoholism, grandfather to heroin, uncle to heroin. Myself, an addict for 20 years, methadone for 12 of those years, 120 milligrams. Our collaboration is so special because our pain is turned into purpose. We're not allowing, the laws to stop us. We're actually making the laws push us to make a change and spread the awareness. Because during COVID, within 3 days, We knew to wear sanitizer, masks, everything. Fentanyl's been out for 7 years, and you could still walk to somebody on the street and them not know what's going on. So we need to get this message out there as much as possible and get the information that you need. You can go to our facingfentanylnow.org website. It has updated information.
Were there any charges brought up when your daughter passed?
Yes, my daughter's case was a very high-profile case in the state of Colorado. We were blessed that the DEA came in to Ashley's case early on. There had been several other people in our state that had died in our area from illicit fentanyl, and there was an investigation already in place. Had DEA not been in the area investigating these other deaths, my daughter would have just been an overdose. They would have looked at it as overdose, case closed, end of story. Ashley was one of 10 that the DEA found to have been poisoned by the same pills from the same dealer. And he was sentenced to recently he received 2 life sentences and 2 20-year, which is very unusual. We have so many laws that we don't use or laws that need to be put into place. But he killed a lot of people, and he knew he was doing so and didn't stop.
Did you know this so-called friend?
No, and my daughter really wasn't friends with him either. The young man that gave my daughter the pill was her boyfriend. Sadly, he took his life the day after Ashley died. He never intended to kill my daughter. Of course, that's very hard to deal with in those first days. It's taken some time to be able for me to even say that. But he didn't intend to kill my daughter. And so 2 families devastated by a half of a pill.
Mike, what's it like growing up in a household or an environment where everybody's using drugs?
My environment probably is not like the typical environment when you would hear 2 people that passed away from. My parents were great people. They just made bad choices. Thing is, though, as a child, I didn't get the validation that I think a child should get. So what led me to drugs was the loss of my identity. People pleasing and trying to get validation from people and seeing value in everything outside of myself, nothing within. So I manipulated and I lied. To become someone I wasn't, because what you thought about me was more important than what I thought about myself. So my identity was always attached to money or a car or girls. And, the longer and longer I lived that life, I remember looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person I seen in the mirror. So every day I was fighting the man within. I was always fighting, the man in the mirror. So I was at peace with my addiction by using and at war with the world. Now in my recovery, I'm at peace with the world and I'm at war with my addiction, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people dying in silence, and you hear the word recovery, and I think the stigma associated with it is that it's a drug and drink thing, when everyone's in recovery one shape, way, or form or another, because pain's a universal language. So what Andrea and I are doing by bringing our 2 different pains together and bringing 2 different communities together, we're trying to become one voice. So whoever's watching this, we need you guys to help us become that one voice. They're not going to hear, they're not going to make change. Let me tell you, I know about addiction. I know about being addicted to something. These politicians are addicted to their power. If we become one voice and we become the population, they will listen to us. Because fentanyl is not a black or white problem. It's not a Republican or Democratic problem. It's a United States of America problem. It's a national security risk. Someone's dying every 5 minutes. It's a weapon of mass destruction. So if it hasn't hit your doorstep yet, thank God, but it's only a matter of time before it does. So please, get on board what it is what we're doing.